Hi, this is Elizabeth with Southern Embellishment. Thank you for stopping by today. I have a little special sentimental type share to share with you today. My youngest, we have 6 grandchildren. My youngest little granddaughter just in July turned a year old, and her mother put together, it's a time capsule, but it's not like one you bury. Her grandpa, my husband, made a box for her, a special beautiful wood box. And so everybody in her family, her grandparents and her parents and her aunts, uncles and cousins, everybody participated and put something in that box for a time capsule for her to open up, anywhere between 10 years, her 10th birthday or 11th or 12th birthday, however they end up doing it. So what I did, being a journal maker, we have to make journals, right? So what I did though was I made her a little journal, and it's made out of a quilt that is very special to us, and it involves several generations. So I thought that would be really nice to do. And the story behind the quilt, real quick, is that my granddaughter's name is Emmaline, as you can see here. Little Emmaline Elizabeth. And her great-great-grandmother made the quilt top. Then her grandmother, her great-grandmother and myself, as her grandmother, it was my mother-in-law and I, we quilted the top. And so that's involved her great-great-grandmother, her great-grandmother, her grandmother, and then my mom, her other great-grandmother, purchased the quilt from her great-grandmother. So there was a lot of grandmas involved, right? So I thought, well, this would include a lot of generations, and I've kept this quilt in a plastic bag because it's so old. It's over 40 years old, and so I've kept it in a plastic zip bag to preserve it, and have been wanting to do something special with it. And so this was my first special project. And so the quilt, I had to, it was a 9-patch quilt. That was the style of it. But because it was so old and fallen apart, I had to sew some of the really worn out places, and I put little patches where it was just really coming apart. I put little patches on, and just that in itself was a lot of fun to do. It just relaxed me. I just enjoyed doing it. For some reason, it inspired me, and I enjoyed it. And then I took this little piece of linen and stamped her name. Didn't do a very good job stamping. That's not my best stamping effort ever. And then I put some antique cotton lace here. And then I put a doily because her great-grandmother, my mom, crocheted. And then a little old button piece of material, and then I put beads on it. I just thought, maybe I was trying to think, okay, what will she like as she, between this 10 and 12 years of age. So anyway, so it's made out of that quilt, and this is the inside of the quilt. And then for the pockets in the front and in the back, I made little pockets from the pieces of the quilt also. And I just thought that she would enjoy that. I wanted to make it sentimental and special. And so I'll flip through, and then I'll tell you about some of the journaling cards. And this little hanky, which I haven't decided if I want to attach it in the book or not, it has a little puppy dog on it. And what little 10-year-old or 11-year-old girl does not like puppy dogs? But my grandmother, which would again be Emmeline's great-great-grandmother, on my father's side, had a handkerchief collection, an amazing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of handkerchiefs. And she collected them from all of her travels, and everywhere she went, she would get a handkerchief. And so this was out of one of those collections, and so I wanted Emmaline to have one. Each of my girls have some, and my other granddaughter, so I wanted Emmaline to have one also. So I didn't attach it in here yet. I'm not sure if I want to or not, but that way she could do with it as she wants when she gets older. And then here is the this is like a little digital download of little girls for her. I left journaling cards. Some of the cards I journaled on, and I'll tell you that in a minute. And then I left journaling cards for her to write her own story when she's older. And so this is assorted papers. This is one of those pattern tea-dyed papers I've shown before. And just assorted papers. And sometimes I get tea-dyed papers or coffee-dyed. They rip a little bit. So what I decided to do is just rip them in half and tear off the, just use them. I just thought, well, it's a little different. So just assorted papers. Little envelope in the middle for her to stick little secret stuff like little girls do and big girls do. And so this is just the one signature. And then I have different little journaling cards. This one here is from the Innkeeper, and which has amazing journals and digitals. And then I have these scripture, and I inked everything up. And I have these scripture cards that she can journal on. Things that spoke to me, little scriptures that spoke to me, and I thought it would be good for her as life lessons and advice. And then on the journaling cards, I took, this is the Project Life card. I took these cards and I wrote little things about her. And like this says, "This is your song." There's a little song that when I start singing it, it's like the same song. She doesn't do it on other songs, but when I start singing this song, she just starts. It's so funny because she's not coordinated. You know how little ones are, but she's got her little foot tapping, and she's got her little head going, and she got her shoulders and her hands going. She just starts dancing. She just gets so excited. So that's mine and her little song, and so I wrote that on here, and then. On here, I saw this little saying and I loved it. It says, "Your first breath took hours away." And so I put that on there for her and said, "Always beautiful you are." And then here's little cards with little things on the back. And this one is the scripture, "For this child I have prayed," from 1 Samuel 1:27. And her little brother, she just turned 1 and he just turned 4. But he, for a year, he kept saying, "I keep asking Jesus to give me a baby sister. I keep asking Jesus to give me a baby sister." And Jesus did. So I wrote that little story on the back because he wanted a baby sister so bad. And so he was blessed with that. So that's what I did with the journaling cards. Some I left blank and for her later. Or if I think of things through the years, I'll just add that to there. But leave her some to journal on too. So that's my little Emmaline sentimental journal. And I just thought I would share it with you. If you've got sentimental pieces that you can pass on to the next generation, I think that's awesome. So thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed our little Emmaline journal. And you have a great day and go make something beautiful. Bye-bye.